Welcome to the podcast to Philippe, and today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty interesting, insurance fraud, and how AI is being used to fight back.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at things like digitally altered photos and even falsified car accident reports.
Mm,
Yeah, and, insurance fraud's a big deal.
absolutely, it is.
It costs insurers millions,
Yeah.
and ultimately, who pays for that?
Well, we all do, right?
Yeah, through higher premiums.
That's right.
But I think-
What's really interesting is how insurance fraud has become more sophisticated. It's not just about individuals trying to make a quick buck anymore. We're seeing organized criminal networks using readily available tools and social media, to orchestrate these elaborate scams.
Yeah.
In fact, one expert we read about even called it the democratization of fraud.
Oh, wow, that's a little scary.
Yeah.
But it sounds like AI is kind of like, stepping up to the plate as the ultimate fraud buster.
Yeah.
How exactly is AI being used to catch these increasingly clever schemes?
Well, one of the key ways AI is fighting back is through advanced image analysis.
Okay.
So you think about those digitally altered photos we mentioned.
Right.
AI can actually analyze images at a pixel level,
Wow.
catching these tiny alterations that would be invisible to the human eye.
Oh, wow.
It's like having a digital detective with a super-powered magnifying glass.
So, like, they're really able to catch those things that, as a human, you're not going to be able to pick up on.
Right.
Can you give us a specific example of how this works in practice?
Absolutely. So imagine someone submits, a seemingly normal invoice,
All right.
but they've actually copied and pasted characters to increase the amount that they're claiming.
Oh.
AI can detect those subtle inconsistencies that would easily fool a human.
Right. So it's not just about catching, obvious fakes.
Right.
AI is finding those hidden manipulations that would otherwise totally slip through.
Exactly. And the results are impressive.
Oh, wow.
Some studies have shown that AI systems can detect up to 90% of fake documents
Wow.
that would otherwise go unnoticed.
That's huge.
Some insurers are even reporting savings in the millions.
Oh, wow.
Thanks to these AI-powered tools.
So that's a pretty significant impact. I mean, it really sounds like AI is becoming an essential weapon in this fight against insurance fraud.
Yeah.
But imagine, like, the fraudsters are also trying to stay one step ahead.
Oh, absolutely.
Are they using technology to their advantage as well?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As AI becomes more sophisticated at detecting fraud, criminals are getting more tech savvy as well.
Oh.
We're already seeing instances of deep fakes being used
Who
to create fabricated evidence.
The deepfake. So we're talking about like AI-generated videos and images that look completely real.
Precisely imagine a scenario where someone stages a minor car accident.
Right.
But then they use a deep fake to make it appear much more serious,
Oh, wow.
potentially leading to a larger insurance payout.
That's scary.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're entering this technological arms race
Yeah, it's
between insurers and fraudsters.
It really underscores the need for constant innovation and vigilance in this field.
Right.
As AI evolves, the techniques used to perpetrate fraud are likely to evolve right alongside it.
Yeah. That's a little bit of a sobering thought.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like this is a battle that's going to require a lot of resources and expertise,
Yeah.
but ultimately it's a battle worth fighting, right?
Absolutely, because remember, insurance fraud doesn't just hurt big corporations.
Right.
It affects all of us.
Right.
Those fraudulent claims drive up premiums for everyone,
Right.
making insurance more expensive for honest policyholders.
So in a sense, we all have a stake in this fight.
Yeah.
The more effective AI becomes at detecting fraud,
Mhm.
the better it is for everyone in the long run.
Exactly. And it's not just about the financial impact either.
Right.
There are also serious legal consequences for those who engage in insurance fraud.
I'm curious about that. What kind of penalties are we talking about?
Well, in some cases, individuals convicted of insurance fraud can face significant fines,
Okay.
probation, and even jail time.
Oh, wow.
It's definitely not worth the risk.
So the message is clear. Don't even think about trying to game the system.
Right.
The consequences could be far-reaching and severe.
Absolutely. And remember, technology is a powerful tool that can be used for both good and bad.
Yeah.
While AI is proving to be a valuable asset in combating fraud, it's important to be aware of the potential for misuse as well.
That's a great point. It seems like staying informed and vigilant is more important than ever in today's, digital landscape.
You're absolutely right. Knowledge is power.
Right.
The more we understand about how AI is being used both by insurers and potentially by fraudsters, the better equipped we'll be to protect ourselves.
Okay.
Right. And that brings us to the world of AI tools and techniques that insurers are using to combat fraud.
Oh, okay.
It's like this whole arsenal of digital detective work.
I love a good detective story, so give me the details.
All right, so one powerful tool is optical character recognition, or OCR.
Okay.
It's AI that can extract key data from documents like dates, amounts, even handwriting.
Wow.
This allows insurers to check for inconsistencies and cross-reference information with databases, making it much harder to slip in falsified details.
So, like, if someone tried to change the date on an accident report to make it seem like it happened after their policy started,
Exactly.
OCR would flag that discrepancy.
Exactly. And then there's predictive analysis,
Okay.
which is kind of like having a crystal ball that can foresee potential fraud.
Oh, wow.
Algorithms sift through mountains of data looking for patterns and behaviors that might indicate a fraudulent claim.
So they're not just reacting to fraud after it happens,
Right.
they're actually trying to predict it.
That's right. And we can't forget about anomaly detection systems.
Okay.
These systems are constantly monitoring for unusual activities that deviate from the norm.
Okay.
For example, a sudden change to bank account information associated with a claim might raise a red flag.
So it sounds like AI is leaving no stone unturned.
Right.
Are there any other tools in this digital detective kit?
Absolutely. There are specialized tools like Confusio that focus on document verification, ensuring their authenticity, and exposing any attempts at tampering.
So they can tell if someone has tried to doctor a photo or alter a document in any way.
Precisely. And remember, this isn't just about catching individual fraudsters.
Right.
AI is helping to dismantle large-scale criminal networks involved in elaborate insurance scams.
Wow.
We're talking about networks with hundreds of people potentially costing insurers hundreds of thousands, even millions of euros.
I remember reading about one case where AI helped uncover a fraud ring that could have cost an insurance company over €500,000.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that fraud ultimately affects everyone.
Right.
When insurers lose money to fraudulent claims, they have to make up for it somewhere.
Right.
And that usually means higher premiums for all policyholders.
So those seemingly small fraudulent claims can add up
Yeah,
and have a ripple effect on everyone's insurance costs.
precisely. Let me give you a concrete example. If 2,000 fraudulent claims totaling 10 million euros are filed, it could lead to a 2% increase in car insurance premiums for everyone.
Wow, that's a significant impact.
Yeah.
And it really highlights the importance of fighting fraud and using every tool available, including AI, to keep those costs down for everyone.
Right.
But what about the human element in all of this?
Yeah.
Are investigators still needed, or is AI taking over their jobs?
That's a great question. And while AI is a powerful tool,
Yeah.
it's not a replacement for human expertise. Investigators play a crucial role in interpreting the data generated by AI, connecting the dots, and building a case.
So it's more of a partnership.
Exactly. Think of it like this AI is the detective that gathers the evidence,
Okay.
but it's the human investigator who puts the pieces together and ultimately cracks the case.
So AI can handle the heavy lifting of data analysis,
Right.
but it still takes a human mind to understand the nuances and context of a situation.
Absolutely. And the human element is also crucial when it comes to ethical considerations and ensuring that AI is being used responsibly.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because with all this talk about AI and its capabilities, it's easy to forget that there are ethical implications as well.
Right. It's important to ensure that AI is being used fairly and transparently, and that it's not being used to discriminate against certain groups of people.
So it's not just about catching fraudsters.
Right.
It's also about using AI in a way that's ethical and benefits everyone.
Exactly. And that requires ongoing dialogue and collaboration between policymakers, industry experts, and the public to ensure that AI is being developed and deployed responsibly.
It seems like there's a lot to consider when it comes to AI and insurance.
Absolutely. It's a rapidly evolving field, and it's important to stay informed about the latest developments and their implications.
Well, I have to say this deep dive into AI and insurance fraud has been incredibly eye-opening. I'm feeling much more knowledgeable about this topic now.
I'm glad to hear that it's a topic that deserves more attention, and I hope this conversation has sparked your curiosity to explore it further.
It's amazing to think about how AI is changing the game in the insurance industry in this fight against fraud. It's almost like a high-tech game of cat and mouse, between insurers and fraudsters.
Yeah, it's a great analogy.
So where do you see this all heading in the future? What's the next frontier in AI-powered fraud detection?
That's a fascinating question. I think we'll see even more sophisticated AI systems that can not only detect fraud, but predict it before it even happens.
Really?
Imagine, algorithms analyzing vast amounts of data,
Right.
identifying emerging patterns, and flagging potential fraudsters before they even file a claim.
Wow. So it's like having a pre-crime unit for insurance fraud, but how would that even work?
Well, these systems would be able to learn and adapt in real time, constantly improving their accuracy and effectiveness. They would be able to analyze data from a variety of sources, like
Oh,
social media news reports, even weather patterns,
wow.
to identify potential risks.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like the future of insurance fraud detection is going to be all about prevention rather than just reaction.
Absolutely. And that's a win-win for everyone.
Right.
By preventing fraud, insurers can keep premiums lower, policyholders can avoid the hassle of dealing with fraudulent claims, and society as a whole benefits from a more stable and equitable insurance system.
It's clear that AI is having a transformative effect on the fight against insurance fraud. And as AI technology continues to evolve, it's going to be fascinating to see how it shapes the insurance industry in the years to come.
I agree. It's a rapidly evolving field with immense potential, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of AI and insurance fraud.
Yes.
We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking.
Thanks for having me.
And remember, stay vigilant, be cautious, and report any suspected fraud together. We can make a difference. Thanks for joining us.